I've heard aunties come and tell me जल्दी से किसी को ढूंढ ले वरना 32 के बाद सिर्फ गंजे और divorcees मिलेंगे. It's like, what kind of a thing is that to
Scare
say?
tactic. My parents, they go and meet his family before I ever even said yes about him, and I felt like super betrayed. Falling in love with you. Hello. Hi Anahita.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We are so honored and excited that you could join us today. Can you please introduce yourself?
I find that actually the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
My name is Anahita, and I don't know how to introduce myself. I really don't. I guess I'm just
living life.
I'm a single girl. I'm single.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm living life. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's a great place to start, and we're thrilled that you could be here.
I think it's really confusing to be a single person in 2024.
Why is that?
Because the world's way of understanding what I am, what my relationship status is to give me this tag of being single. I'm unattached for sure. I don't feel alone because I have so much love in my life anyway. I have a great support system. I have friends who love me. My parents have become really chill now. I have a very open and honest relationship with them. I've established it over the years.
It seems like being unattached is like an internally imposed thing or internal thing, but being single is more of like a external or like a society imposed tag.
Yeah, I think
right. So what are the challenges or what are the narratives that society has fed you about, you know, being in your, you know, late 20s, probably one of the last of your friends who is single at this point of time? Like, what are some of the wackiest, craziest things that you've heard?
Oh my god, so many things. Many things. I've heard aunties come and tell me जल्दी से किसी को ढूंढ ले वरना 32 के बाद सिर्फ गंजे और divorcees मिलेंगे. It's like, what kind of a thing is that to
Scare
say?
tactics.
No, it's not about, I don't have a problem with people who are bald. It's completely fine. I am half balding.
It's
all
problematic on multiple levels.
It's a problematic thing to say to another person. This conversation started very early on in my extended family.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been getting rishtas since I was 20 or 18 or 19 years old. Yeah.
Why is that?
My grandfather was really... he was under the impression that, you know, if you're 18, you have to get married. He thought 25 was very late for me.
Wow.
So we used to all joke about it. But funnily, when we were growing up in our 20s, having a boyfriend or being in a relationship was a hidden thing. It was a problem. And now you're 28, 29 and your parents just turn around and say, why don't you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Why do we have to? You don't give me the permission to...
It was never okay.
It was never okay. I find it really funny when I get rishtas. And it's not like rishtas, they're not curated, but they're like some auntie from somewhere in the world will be like, oh, Anahita is a single, and then they'll talk about something, and then I get a photo on my phone, and there'll be this doctor from LA or like, you know, somewhere in Boston. And just because he's a doctor, you know, I'm not going to be able to look at him and be like, okay, this is the guy I'm going to marry. He's going to heal me because he's a doctor. And now I think my parents have reached a stage where they've given up on... I wouldn't say given up, but they've let me be. They've never really pressurized me, but I think they've skipped a level. So now my dad has this whole thing about... He said something on the lines, I'm quoting him. He said, marriage is like having an alibi. It's a witness to your life, which I think is a really cool line. But he skipped that now and he said, just have a baby. You know, just have a baby. Doesn't matter. Just, you know, there are lots of new ways now, and my parents saying this to me is a very big deal. Progressive. And I'm like, I don't want to have a baby right now for sure, but it's nice that they've been supportive and they're not shaming me for being single. They actually want me to just live my life, have a lot of fun, have experiences, work, figure out who I am. So it's really nice to have supportive parents.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, there's this switch that flips. For me, it happened like when I was 25. And my parents are extremely progressive and they've spent decades abroad, like lived in the US and everything. And suddenly, like, this thing would keep coming up again and again. And first it was like gradual and then it was all at once. But then this arranged marriage process, at least for me, has been extremely eye-opening because I didn't know this is how it went down. Right? I was not aware because like I just wasn't exposed to that, and my family structures, like my house is very different. My parents had a love marriage. Like I didn't know anything about this whole situation. And then my mom's, first I get a biodata, ठीक है, तो मैंने उनको वहीं पे no बोल दिया था. Thank you, I'm good. And then my parents, they go and meet his family and everything, and I was like, you've met his family, before I ever even said yes about him. And that was really crazy. And I felt like super betrayed. And I felt like super like my autonomy was being stripped away. Like that I have no decision-making power in my own life. Yeah. So what's your opinion on like the arranged marriage process in the more traditional sense here in India?
For me, I'm too much of a romantic to feel like I can find someone like this. Yeah. You know? But at the same time, I also think that I don't trust my
parents.
No, myself.
Oh, yourself.
I don't trust myself to make the right decision anymore. And you know, like a lot of people, every second person you meet will be like, okay, Anahita, I think you should be open to this whole arranged marriage thing now. I don't think I will be. I think I'd be kidding a little bit the hopeful little 6-year-old who dreamed of finding love. If I give into that, I feel like that'll be my last resort completely. And I don't want to be in that phase.
But do you not think arranged marriage has love in it?
I think it does. But for me, I still believe that I can find someone. But arranged marriages have worked out really well for a lot of people I know. Mm-hmm. But I have a problem with my personal details, personal information being floated around on WhatsApp. Yeah. Because I remember a few years ago, I was going through my mom's phone and I found this biodata. It was a girl from my school. And it was her height, her weight, her university education, pictures, ex-boyfriend's names.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is a complete invasion of her privacy. And why is it being floated around like that on WhatsApp?
Right.
And I don't feel comfortable with that.
If you had to like describe your ideal like dream person, like if you could architect that, what would that person be like?
I think what I'm looking for right now is just tenderness.
Yeah. You know, he's looking for you too.
Yeah, I'm just, I was thinking about it. I do believe in soulmates. And I feel like I've done my job. Mera ho gaya, I tried. But if I have a soulmate and he's looking for me, he should make the effort.
That's true.
Yeah, I want to be wooed.
We don't chase.
Yeah, we don't chase.
We attract.
Yeah, we don't chase. I want to be a version of myself that I will
attract that person.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
It's nice when you can have a partner who inspires you to be a better version of yourself. Yeah. Like someone who you feel proud of the person that you are when you're around them. Because your life partner is going to be the most significant influence like on who you become.
True.
So you mentioned that you're currently single, right? And what I want to understand before we look towards the future is, you know, what are some key lessons that you've learned from your past relationships that, you know, have informed you and your life, your identity moving forward?
I think a lot of times when you're dating someone for a very long time, you kind of start identifying yourself with that person.
Yeah.
So my key takeaways from all the relationships that I've been in is to never lose my sense of self, like not to completely invest in my relationship to the extent where I don't have anything else going on. And another thing would, I don't even know if I've taken away anything from these relationships, a lot of drama. So I think, just don't get into any relationships for a while.
Just being, that's your learning.
Yeah, that's my learning. It's really difficult for me to even answer these questions or think about it because I'm so new to this. I have spent a chunk of my life in relationships.
Right.
So I feel like for me, this is a time where I'm figuring out who I am.
Yeah.
Without a partner.
Sure. I feel like I'm the same. I'm the same as you.
Yeah.
Because every time I've been in a relationship, it's so interesting how like if he was mad at me on a given day, then I was feeling terrible and I was not loving myself, right? And if he was happy with me on a given day, then I was over the moon. And at that point of time, I was never aware of like how damaging it is to place a dependency of my happiness on someone else for both of us. And one more thing that you said that I really liked was sometimes it's okay to not have a lesson from a bad experience and to accept that some things don't happen for a reason, they just happen.
And I also feel like there is, like when you don't have it, when you're bereft of romantic love, it creates a space that I think, and I may be wrong, but only romantic love can fill in again. And when you're lonely at 4 a.m, you don't have anyone to call, like, what do you do then? It's not just about being all by myself vis-a-vis a partner, but it's also your friends moving on and everyone in your life, all your single friends used to be awake at 4 a.m. with you.
Yeah.
You know, right now it's just like it's 3 a.m. or it's late at night, and if you're struggling to sleep and if you're overthinking, you don't have anyone to call because everyone has partners or husbands or like, you know, or
kids.
I don't know, so many things, and people have things going on. So, and what do you actually physically do to distract yourself from that? And what I've started doing, I just started reading a book.
Okay.
Or I go and like go to my wardrobe and start trying on clothes from 2003. And I think I'm just finding new ways to entertain myself. And every time I'm not focusing on finding love and I'm doing my own thing, out of the blue, automatically something will land up and, you know, knock on my door and be like, hello, you know, I'm here. So I do believe that love happens when you're not looking for it.
So you are really focused on like enjoying your singlehood, and you know, this is one time where you can be really selfish about filling your own cup and doing the things that you love to do. There's a very finite phase of life where you have very few responsibilities to other people. Of course, you have it to your parents and to some extent to your friends, but like you can literally do whatever you want. So I think that's a really special time, a sacred time, and something that's so healthy in advance of finding the right person down the line eventually, where you already have such a full life. You're already so independent and so confident and have so much self-worth that I think that is the moment when the right person does see that, right? Because I think the more that you're desperate, like the more you attract the wrong types of people, or the people just are not interested, right? Because you're exuding this sort of, I don't know, neediness that I think is not very attractive. It's actually repellent. After so many tough times have happened to both of us, how do we still have faith in love?
There is no other option. Like the only
you just don't have a choice but to love. I don't have a choice
but to just not just to love, but just to feel positive about what my life is going to look like now. I think I'm just learning how to protect myself, but I want to believe that it's going to happen.
And the goal is also to not protect yourself so hard that you end up closing yourself off, you know, by being so cautious and so trepidatious when proceeding. I think also I also think I still believe in love because I love so much, right? So I assume there must be other people out there like me who also like love deeply and who can actually like process and feel their emotions like mature individuals. Like I think this is a challenge with a lot of men, especially Indian men. Like I don't know that they were ever taught or ever allowed to feel their emotions, so they have no idea how to process them, and it ends up hurting other people in their life, right? Because they don't know what they're feeling, they don't know how to react. So the hope is that there are more emotionally mature and intelligent men in the world.
You know, there really are. I feel like I have so many of them in my life. I have such great friends. My guy friends are the best partners to their partners. And I'm going to start taking their advice.
It sets the bar really high. And I think that's where it should be. Like, that's where it always was supposed to be.
I think for me, what I'm learning how to do, and the biggest lesson for me has been to learn how to walk out of a room at the right time. Like the second that I'm not feeling appreciated, I don't have to sit there and try to convince the other person of being a certain way. I just need to see it as it is and walk out of there before it reaches a point where, like I said earlier, just completely the other person's lost respect for me, or I've lost respect for myself.
I want to talk about music. And music and the heart. And I think those are two things which are so closely connected for me, and I think for you as well. And just tell me a little bit about what role music has played in your healing or in your rediscovery of yourself, or even when you were in love.
My relationship with music has been so deep and so formative for so many years. It makes me who I am. And it made me a very emotionally aware person at a very young age. But at the same time, there was also a phase where even listening to music for me was too much. Because every song that I liked was about love. So I shut it out for many years. I couldn't deal with listening to it the same way. It also transports you back in time and introduces you to versions of yourself that you've forgotten,
or the emotions that are uncomfortable.
True.
Do you think it's important for your partner, or like your future partner, to love music too?
I think it would be. If there isn't space for me to express myself through music, it can be very damaging for me and for the other person.
I mean, this is such a core part of your identity, so it's like almost like a rejection of a part of who you are, you know.
I was with someone who said that I don't like your voice. He said to me that, and he said it once. He said it once or twice.
I am furious.
And I never sang in front of him.
That is heartbreaking to hear. Wise men.
Are you gonna sing with me?
I want to sing with you.
Okay.
Only fools rush in, and that I can't help I can't help falling in love with you. Nice. You harmonize. It's so pretty.